Welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Gretchen Pleshaw. Happy Monday. I am so excited. It is Stir Fry Day here at Wasatch Weekends. We are going to learn all about making a stir fry. Let's also take a look at that weather outside today. Sit back, get ready for some stir fry because Wasatch Weekends starts right now. Welcome back to the show. Now I'm so excited because it's stir fry all day here and we're going to learn how to make some of that stir fry sauce. Let's check it out.
We're in the kitchen.
Yep.
We are in the kitchen, and what a Tuesday it is.
Yeah. What are we cooking up today,
Well,
Kim?
you know, I like to travel, and I sometimes at the end of the day I'm just so tired, and I'm over trying to think of creative meals to make for myself. So I love a simple stir fry. But the kicker and the best piece of the stir fry is the sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I like to avoid store-bought sauces as much as possible, and I always make my own. So I figured we'd show the audience.
Let's do it.
How to make an easy and stir fry recipe. If you've got rice vinegar and you've got a sesame oil in your pantry, you probably have everything else too. And so we'll go ahead and get started with this. But I love it because sesame oil has this nice nutty toasty flavor, and that really is what makes the dish. So we'll go ahead and get started. It comes with rice vinegar, which is very important. We also have the sesame oil, and sometimes it's hard to find it because you don't need a lot. So it doesn't come in a very big jar. We've got soy sauce. I like to use the lesser sodium, but it really doesn't matter. It depends on how salty you like things. And then you can use sugar or honey.
Okay.
So basically, or you can use a juice or pineapple juice, apple juice, whatever it is, if you have that on hand, because you want something sweet to kind of balance out that saltiness. Are you big Asian-inspired cuisine?
Yeah, I love my rice cooker.
Yeah.
It's probably my best dish that I make.
We should have brought your rice cooker in so that we can use it to use our stir fry sauce with.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, the key to a good stir fry sauce is cornstarch. So you want to make sure that you have cornstarch, and that's what thickens it up. And you can add as much as you want to, but typically you would start with just 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay. And then fresh garlic, fresh ginger, but it's okay if you don't have either one of those. We've got garlic powder here. You can use garlic salt, but you may not want to because the sodium is already in the soy sauce. And then I've got some grated or ground ginger here, but we also have some fresh ginger as well. And now if you have your fresh ginger, you can just grate it up or finely dice it. I would suggest grating it because it then releases all of the juices. So yeah, let's get started.
Love it.
This is the best part, Ross. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna need you to separate the measuring cups from the ring.
Oh man, that's the best part.
Ross's favorite part.
That's the best.
We've done this before. That's one of the best parts because it's always fun to watch you in the kitchen. Look at that. He's a pro, ladies and gents. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Which color did you need?
Well, we're gonna need 1 cup of water, or half a cup of water. So I'd say water or vegetable stock. You need something to kind of be the base to add that extra liquid to stretch it out. So we've got some filtered water here.
Cool.
So if you can pour a half a cup of water into our bowl, and then we're gonna also do a half a cup of soy sauce when you're done with that. So I'll go ahead and get this soy sauce opened.
That is exactly half a cup of water.
That is perfect.
Exactly.
Exactly. And you know what? You are so good.
And we're going to do half cup.
Half a cup. So we're going all the way in. This is really great. This will last in the fridge for up to a week, but you can also freeze it if you don't want to toss your, you don't want to use it all right away. And you know, sometimes I do that since I'm at home and I cook mostly for myself. I freeze a lot of the meals that I make at home, and this is definitely one that I would keep on hand. You just pour a little bit out. You can even put it in like individual like freezer bags, so you have just a little bit here and there. So we did 1/2 a cup of water, 1/2 a cup of soy sauce, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon, that is TSP, of the sesame oil, for those of you that aren't sure what that looks like.
This looks like about 66 milliliters, right?
Well, we've probably got one that's a little bit bigger than that if I had to look at the different colors. It might be red sitting here on the counter. There we go, nailed it. 1/2 teaspoon, or 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. So we'll go ahead and pour that in. And the sesame it's just great. I love toasted sesame seeds or not. So we'll pour this kind of gives it a nice like warm, nutty flavor. And you can see it's pretty thick. A lot of sesame oil goes a long way, so you don't want to oversell it, but if you feel like you need to, go ahead. You know, it really is kind of up to you and what you want to do. So we're just getting that out there. Looking good. Okay, dumping that in there, and then we've got the rice vinegar. Now, rice vinegar is vinegar, right? But it tastes a little bit different. That gives it a little bit more of the authenticity of Asian cuisine is because of these two flavors typically in their sauces. So we're going to do 1/2 tablespoon. That's TBSP.
All right.
So that's the big one.
All right, here we go.
And I love our measuring cup set because it's really great if you're like cooking with kids. You can just tell them what colors to grab.
Yes.
And that always helps. So that's 1/2 tablespoon of the rice vinegar. And now it's going to have a very potent, like strong sour taste. And then if we had 2 cloves of garlic, but really what we'll do is we'll do our garlic powder instead of our garlic salt. So we don't have the fresh garlic on hand, and that's okay. Cool. You know, obviously you want that, but if you don't, it's okay. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder. And so that's
I got it. I'm tracking here.
We have fun in the kitchen, as you can see.
So I heard something recently that some chefs taste their salt and sugar before putting it in to make sure it's salt or sugar and not mixing it up. Have you heard of that?
I have not, but that's probably a smart move for sure. I would do that if I didn't have it in a bag in front of me. That's
yeah, I think it's when it's like just in a jar and they don't really know.
You know, yeah, it looks good. And really, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'd say that's probably pretty good. You can kind of dump that in. I like to taste garlic in my dishes, so if it's a little bit garlicky, I'm not mad about it. Some people are a little bit more particular about that. And then we're going to do about 1 to 2 teaspoons of grated ginger or ginger powder. So we don't have a grater in front of us, but this is typically, if you don't shop for ginger, this is what it looks like. You can get it in like the organic section. I love to cook with ginger in most of my dishes. I make a really great soup and I put ginger in it. It just gives it a little bit more of like a hearty flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and use the ginger powder.
Okay.
It's easy, it's on hand, and I keep this in my pantry as well. And you know what? It's okay if there we go.
Whoa, Kim, easy there. I'm doing so much hard work, and you just throw it in there
We're
like that.
Wild. And then we've got the 1 tablespoon of sugar. So you can use honey. You can also use orange juice, apple juice, whatever it is that you want to. And then we're going to also do 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and that's what's going to thicken it up.
Sweet.
And then my favorite part is like how we get everything blended together. So
I gotcha.
We're going to go ahead and just pour that in there. Teamwork makes the dream work, but sometimes you just need to be the only person to do this.
One team, one dream.
One team, one dream. And then cornstarch. This is the most important one. We want to thicken it up. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon, but depending on how thick you want your sauce, you can honestly just keep adding until it's come to your desired consistency. So this might be one where we want to just take a spoon and make sure that it's exactly right. But by exact, we're going to use our regular here. There we go.
That looks good.
Right? So we can whisk it up. Or if you had like a jar, thanks, Ross. There we go. We'll just whisk it if you had a jar. You know, I love this bowl because it comes with a lid. And so what we could do is we could like shake it up and really make sure that it's blended.
Or just put the rest of the meal in that bowl.
Or just put it all in there, toss it all together, dump it into a wok or a skillet. I love a stir fry. Like you can buy frozen vegetables. You can also make it fresh. But hey, if you're in a pinch, grab a bag of frozen stir-fry vegetables. You can put shrimp in it, tofu, chicken, steak. Really, honestly, I feel like I'm sitting at a hibachi restaurant and I'm ready to just sizzle up some filet mignon.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. But easy recipe. You can freeze it. You can keep it on hand for about a week. And then you can either toss your vegetables and all of it in it together, put it all in the freezer if you wanted to do that, or you just add it as you cook it. And if you want the sauce to be thicker, just keep adding more cornstarch, and boom.
Man, it smells so good.
It does,
right?
Right? We're basically chefs here in this kitchen.
I think I'm gonna have some of this and then go to China Garden after too.
That sounds great. Well, we've got a lot more on the show after this. We'll be right back.
I don't know about you, but I'm hungry even though it's in the morning, and we are gonna finish up the recipe with stir fry. All things stir fry, put some shrimp in it. It's gonna be awesome. Let's check it out.
Ross and I got into the kitchen and we made a delicious stir fry sauce, and now I'm going to show you how to apply it with the simple, fresh from the frozen food section, shrimp stir fry. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, every stir fry is good with rice, and that's a great base. I love the Jasmine minute rice. This is so easy. You do about 2 cups of water, or 1 cup of water to 1 cup of rice. So we have 2 cups of water boiling right now. We're going to make about 2 cups of rice. It's so simple. We've already got the water boiling. So you're just gonna pour that in. You're gonna measure in about 2 cups of that wonderful jasmine rice. And it only takes about 5 minutes to cook, which is really the great part when you're using this minute rice. So we got about 2 cups added in now. The water has been boiling. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a quick little stir. And then I'm going to cover it and remove it from the heat, and we're just going to let it sit for 5 minutes by itself, which is really great. So once that's done, we've removed it from the heat. Our rice is ready to rock. Now I've got a hot pan here that we're going to actually pre-cook the shrimp. We're going to put it in there, and then we're going to add the vegetables, the stir fry, and the shrimp, and like let it all mix together. Now, one of my favorite things, I've got a bag of frozen deveined and tail off shrimp. Now, if you knew you were making this meal ahead of time, you can pull the shrimp out of the freezer, put it in cold water, and let it sit for 10 hours overnight in the cold water, and that will de-thaw it. Or if you don't have time for that, which, you know, we like to do things quick and easy around here, I pulled it out. I actually ran it under cold water in a colander for about 5 minutes, just so that it defrosts. But there are other fun ways to do it too. You can boil it in the water really quickly and then flash run it under cold water. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. So my pan is hot. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of a mild flavored oil. So, you know, I think you can use vegetable oil. I try not to. Olive oil to me is just as good. We're gonna go ahead and pour our oil in here. Our pan is nice and hot. I've got it right about that medium to medium low, just to get a nice simmer. And we're gonna add in the shrimp as we need to. So I'm not gonna do all of it, just because, you know, we don't need to have a huge plate of shrimp here, but we're just gonna make sure that it all fits into our skillet so that we can have a shrimp stir fry. Now, who doesn't love a shrimp stir fry? I know I'm a big fan of stir fry in general, but if you don't like shrimp, or you have an allergy to seafood, you can do tofu, you can do chicken, but we're going with shrimp here because to me, shrimp stir fry is classic. So we've got it in here. It's nice and thawed, and we're just gonna lightly color it. You wanna make sure that the shrimp is cooked until it's until it's pink and opaque. You know, you wanna make sure that it is fully cooked. We've got it going. I'll turn up the heat a little bit here. You can season your shrimp, but really you don't need to, because it's gonna be seasoned with the stir fry sauce. And our stir fry sauce is very simple. We made it with cornstarch. That's a key element. You've got your sugar, you've got your rice, you've got your ginger powder. You can do grated ginger if you want to. We have soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, all of the different things that are quintessentially Asian flavors, so it's gonna be delicious. But as our shrimp is frying up, it's looking great. We're just gonna make sure that it is completely cooked, mostly. You know, you can be about 85% done, because then once you toss everything else in, it'll rock and roll here. So you can hear it sizzling, you can smell the seafood. I love the smell of shrimp cooking, and we can even add a little bit of extra seasoning to it if you want to. Sometimes I'll do a little salt and pepper. So we're gonna go ahead and add the garlic powder. Why not, right? You know, I think that's just gonna be the simplest way. We don't need to worry too much about everything else. It's looking great here. I like to make sure that it's turning pink. As you can see it sizzling. So I put about a tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. You don't want too much because you don't want the oil flying all over the place, but you want just enough so that it crisps up just a little bit. All right, we're gonna flip these over. They're looking nice and pink on some sides. Looking great. And then, this is the best part. You can literally just get whatever frozen vegetable that you want to. I like to get the Asian medley because it comes with the baby corn, the snap peas, which I love a snap pea in my stir fry. Or you can just get whatever you want to. You can get frozen peas and carrots. Sometimes you can get the water chestnuts. Those are also a really fun one to throw in there. Broccoli, baby broccoli, whatever it is that works for you. And it just smells so flavorful in this kitchen. I wish you could smell it. I smell the garlic salt that we use, so that gives the shrimp a little bit more flavor. You can see that it's cooking up nicely. Now it's going from like a gray, almost translucent, and turning into this nice pink opaque shrimp. And that will really make it delicious. You know, it does not have to be crusted over. You can make it that way, but we just want to make sure that it's fully cooked before we throw in the vegetables. And this is such a easy weeknight meal. You can just keep that frozen shrimp in your freezer, and then you've got your frozen vegetables. If you don't feel like cooking, you can just make this quick and easy stir fry recipe, and it's really quite great. It's great leftover. You know, sometimes leftovers are not the best from those weeknight meals, but this is one that you can heat up and you keep going as long as you want to. So we're just gonna flip these shrimp over here. They're looking great, and then getting ready to add in our vegetables and the stir fry sauce that we've got going on. Now with this rice, you wanna keep it covered for about 5 minutes, and then once you're done with it, you're gonna just take a fork and fluff it up. And that is how easy it is to make this jasmine rice. I prefer jasmine rice for almost everything that I make. You know, I think it's got a really nice, unique flavor to it. It's got a great consistency. They're longer and bigger grains of rice. All right, these shrimp are looking good. We're almost done with these in the pan, and then we're just gonna toss in our vegetables and then toss everything in together with the sauce. So we'll let the veggies cook a little bit before we put the sauce and the shrimp back in. Looks good to me. Nice and sizzling. You can feel it, and if you need to turn that heat up a little bit more, you can. It really just depends on how crispy you want your shrimp when you're making this recipe. Looks great. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my shrimp from the pan. Looking good here, and I have a plate to the side that I'm just gonna put it on, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in those veggies. There we go. Now there's still a little bit of the oil left, but if you need to add a little bit more, you can just dump a little bit in there. There we go, looking great. And the fun part, the vegetables. Now, if you really want to make it easy, you can steam these and just toss everything at once. I like to go ahead and get it cooking in the pan. And this is the fun part, getting it nice and open. There we go. So we've got baby corn, we've got broccoli, we've got snap peas, and man, this looks delicious. So all you have to do is take that frozen veggies, cook them down a little bit, and then we'll add in the shrimp, we'll add in the stir fry, we'll get things rocking and rolling, and it's that simple. Now, while these are starting to cook down, I'm gonna go ahead and check on my rice. I think we've been letting it sit here for about 5 minutes. And I'll take a fresh fork because we used this one already to kind of help cook the shrimp down. It's looking great. You can see the steam. You can just kind of fluff it up a little bit, just like that. And there it is. You can smell it. I can smell the jasmine rice. Looks great. It's gonna be nice and easy to put this stir fry on over it. All right, our veggies are sizzling down, looking great. Now, as you can see, the broccoli might take a little bit longer to cook, but those carrots, those snap peas, and the baby corn should be cooking pretty quickly here. And then this is the fun part. While these are cooking in here, we're just gonna let it simmer a little bit longer. Now, if you wanted to also soften it up a bit, you can just take a lid, put a little bit more water on top of this and let it cook down. But we're gonna go ahead and just let it kind of simmer. But we have our homemade stir fry sauce right here, which is great. So this is a fun one. You can throw it in a jar. It should last about a week in the fridge, but it's got the rice vinegar, it's got the sesame oil, the sugar, the soy sauce. You can smell all of those flavors combined, ginger, garlic. It's quite delicious. So we are stirring it up. And then it's really up to you how much you want to put in here. I think it looks pretty good to me. And now the more cornstarch you put in it while it cooks over the heat, it'll actually thicken up. So we're gonna add in our shrimp now. Looking great. And then I think I'm gonna do probably about 3 tablespoons worth of the sauce as we put it in here. And then again, it's really up to you to taste what you want to do with it. I'm doing 4, why not? Let's add it in. And then the longer it cooks on the heat, because of the cornstarch, it will actually thicken up, which will be really great. Yeah, so as you can see, it's looking great. We'll turn the heat up a little bit more just to let everything sizzle, taste good, and keep it going. I can smell all of the aromas from the garlic, from the ginger, from the soy sauce. Looks fantastic. And that is as easy as it gets to make a simple shrimp stir fry. We've got our jasmine rice looking good, nice and steamed. We just put it over heat for 5 minutes. And then we're just gonna let this all cook together, let the soy sauce and the stir fry sauce thicken up, plus the shrimp will give everything a little bit more flavor. And that is it. That is your simple weeknight meal. So if you want more recipes or want to know all of these ingredients, we'll be happy to share it. Follow us on Facebook or tag us and we'll share the ingredients with you.
Thank you for spending your Monday here with us. We had so much fun talking about all things stir fry. I'm going to try and attempt to make one. We will see how it works out. Have a great Monday. We'll see you again next time.